Daniel.
Hi, Maddie.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks. What's my segment called?
Dear Daniel.
Oh, that's wonderful. It's also a Hello Kitty character, too.
Dear Daniel?
Yeah.
Really?
That's Hello Kitty's boyfriend.
Hello Kitty has a boyfriend?
I know, that's a lot of lore there.
Why?
She's an independent woman. She could have a relationship if she like.
I guess so.
This could be a separate segment. Daniel's Hello Kitty Corner. For trivia last week, the final category is Hello Kitty, so I had to study for that. So
That's what.
the question was, what is Hello Kitty's last name? It's not Kitty. It's White. Kitty White.
White?
And she's British, apparently. Yeah.
I didn't know she talked.
She doesn't usually, but I guess if she did, she'd talk with a British accent.
Do you think it'd be like Cockney or like posh?
As much as I would want it to be Cockney, I'm pretty confident it's posh.
Yeah.
This has been Daniel's Hello Kitty Corner. Thanks for tuning in.
Dear Daniel, in this year of our Lord 2025, how can I become more like Teddy Roosevelt, my hero?
I think step one would be grow a mustache.
Okay.
You should live a challenging, strenuous life and be brave and bust up monopolies. Teddy Roosevelt loved busting up monopolies and unfair wealth aggregation. If there's a way you could become governor of New York and go after illegal trade monopolies, I think that'd be a great way.
Let's start with the mustache.
Well, the mustache, then enter the New York City mayoral race, and then use that experience to then become governor and then president. You need to also find some kind of animal that you don't shoot, because a teddy bear is named after Teddy Roosevelt because he didn't shoot a particular bear. And so the last part is just, I think, live a life of integrity and enjoy nature. And don't recommend your best friend for president next and become bitter with him afterwards. So
Did that happen?
he recommended Taft, and then Taft did his own things politically, and then Teddy Roosevelt didn't like it.
You're really good with presidents.
Is the next one president related? Because if it's not, then I don't know how we're going to do.
Dear Daniel, sometimes I am haunted by things that my cringe, weird middle school past self did or said.
Wow.
I'm a normal adult now, at least I think. How can I lay my cringe, weirdo middle schooler memories to rest? Or will it haunt me forever?
I think the comforting thing is that everyone was cringe in middle school. I guess question one is, are you still friends with anybody from middle school? Is there anyone that would still remember that cringe part of yourself? And if that isn't the case, then I think you've reinvented yourself. You have a new life. Just go leave behind you. If there are people that still know you, you can do what I've done when people made fun of some of my cringe choices, like when I wore yellow shorts one time. And everyone called me mean names because I wore really bright yellow shorts. And so then what I said is that I will never wear these shorts again in front of those people. And to this day, I've continued that. So I think what you just need to do, you're just going to have to hold a grudge and never back down. If you don't want to hold a grudge, then you can go and just embrace the cringe in a kind of an ironic way. You might even find that there's parts of it that you enjoy. Like I have a thing called Wolf Shirt Wednesday, where I will wear a wolf shirt every Wednesday. It's very cringy, but it's just like the day just to let it out and in a kind of ironic way, but also kind of not. And you keep people on their toes. I think you got to confuse people into thinking wait, is this cringe or is this actually really cool? I think just roll with it, and you'll still think about those times, but they can't hurt you anymore. Like they say in The Lion King, you got to put your past behind you.
Why it's called the past.
I don't think they say that in the movie.
Next up, we have some special guests with their own question.
Whoa, we got guests? Can this closet hold more people? Hello, anonymous question asker.
Dear Daniel.
Yes, that's me.
If you were a Webkinz, what would Webkinz
Wow.
be?
I feel like I would probably be one of the original ones that had the really gross hair that was just little little threads that were sticking out.
Yeah.
Well, your first Webkinz was a classic tiger, so I kind of want to say that.
I can see that.
I think maybe Carmel Lion would be a good pick.
Okay.
What Webkinz would you be, anonymous question asker?
Wow, I didn't think about that question for myself. A lop-eared bunny that was also a later Webkinz, maybe.
That's a pretty good one. Great question. Thanks for asking. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Be sure to get a goodie bag on your way out.
All right, our next guest.
Another anonymous question asker. Hello.
What's question?
Hello, welcome to Joel's Closet.
Oh, thank you. It's so roomy in here.
I know. He did a great job furnishing it.
Dear Daniel, how do I get hair as luxurious as yours?
Well, short answer is genetics. In
Oh,
which case, I can't totally help you there. But you can do what I do and not use conditioner. So I think step one, genetics. So if you can make sure to get a really good mom and dad.
if I could go back in the past and make sure my parents are your parents.
Yeah.
That would be ideal.
Or you pay it forward.
Oh.
You make sure that your kids also have great genetics and really good hair.
Daniel, would you be willing to donate your genetics?
I don't want to talk about this on the show. Besides the genetics, I think not cutting it off. I think having some collagen or a good diet is good.
Okay.
You also got to know your hair type too. It's all about the presentation too.
Okay.
So if you can get to like a wind tunnel or convertibles and you can really let your hair flow, then that will just automatically make it look nice.
Oh, I see. I've just really been wasting and squandering by going into like hooded vehicles.
Yeah. In stagnant rooms. You're going to have such great hair.
Oh, thanks, Daniel.
No problem. Any more questions that aren't tied to a specific person?
Dear Daniel, my friend has a crush on this guy, but unfortunately she lives in a cave. How might she woo him?
Is she in a cave for tuberculosis? Or is she in a cave just because she got stuck there?
It doesn't say, but I think we can safely assume it's because she has tuberculosis.
One, I don't think it's a very effective remedy for tuberculosis, but I think write him a letter.
I guess the main part would be like getting his interest, maybe like getting him to come visit her in the cave.
Well, I mean, the cave might be exceptional. I feel like most guys like caves. So maybe you first entice him with the promise of like, come check out this beautiful cave. And then when he's there, he might notice a beautiful person. Tuberculosis or not. Then you can talk about the health thing at a later date.
So it's like cave first, woman later.
I think that's how it usually goes with guys. You want to go and visit all the national parks. And then that's after once you finish that, you start.
Because they got women everywhere.
Yeah, but they only have 50 national parks. You can put on screen how many national parks there actually are. Yeah, and just, be yourself. There's nothing more attractive than that.
A lot of people ask about free time and projects.
This question is, do they want the sad answer or the practical answer?
Both.
Sad answer is just don't date anyone. Practical answer is whether you're dating someone or not. Find a consistent time each day to work on your project and make it a habit. And just do a little bit each day at a consistent time. And then it will eventually develop. And you're probably going to have to make sacrifices too. Time put towards personal art projects or whatever hobbies or something. Time that you're not going to be playing video games or watching movies, or worst case scenario, like hanging out with friends or other things. And I think it's specific to each person how much they want to sacrifice for their art. And I would recommend trying to like still live a balanced life, because I think you're going to be more motivated and more excited if you are living a healthier life with friends or significant others or that kind of things. Also figure out like what things are distractions you can let go of, like scrolling on Instagram a lot or watching YouTube and movies and video games, all that kind of stuff. And so that's things I'm happier to put aside for a personal project. And you have to be super passionate about what you're doing too, and like really know why you're making your project. Halfway to 3/4 is the worst part of any project, because you're entirely out of like the initial motivation and initial excitement, and then you're not close enough to being done. But the comforting thing is like every project's like that. So when you hit that point, you're like, okay, I'm at that point now. And then you just keep.
Dear Daniel, how do I potty train my toddler?
Well, as a parent of 3, no, I don't have kids. And so, but I was a kid at one time. So believe it or not, I am potty trained.
Wow.
So what worked for me was that I had a chart, and whenever I used the potty, I got to put a sticker on that chart, which is very rewarding. And then the best part was when I filled out the chart, and then I got a new train. Any more parenting questions? I feel like I'm great at those.
Yeah. Dear Daniel, my girlfriend really wants me to wear a certain article of clothing when we go out. Nothing weird, just a silly little armband. But without going into detail, I'm scared that it will make people think that I don't like Jews. What should I do?
Without going in, I feel like the question asks you're leaving out a very important detail. I wonder why the girlfriend's asking you to wear that, whether it's for aesthetic reasons or ideological reasons. Because if it's aesthetic reasons, maybe you should I think it's worth being aware of what kind of symbols we're putting on our body. I think certain articles of clothing do have cultural meaning beyond maybe what you intend, which is a bummer. Like, I used to like wearing red hats, and now you can't wear a red hat, even a very innocuous Buc-ee's hat, without some thought of like, oh, I don't want to like someone to see me from behind and assume anything.
Yeah.
I think definitely not hating Jews is a good thing to keep doing. You should stay away from any of that stuff. So I would probably just play it safe. I would communicate how you feel to your girlfriend and just hope that things work itself out. If the question was being asked in like 1940s, then I'd have probably more concrete recommendations for where they need to go and who not to vote for. But
Dear Daniel, what do you like to do to find rest in your week? Do you feel like you get enough rest?
How can we be better resters?
I think with rest, it's first important to determine what is beneficial rest versus like not as beneficial rest. Everyone noticed the difference between like maybe more shallow form of rest, like just like watching a ton of TV, or like lounging around versus like maybe being with friends or someone that you care about. I think there's ways to still like kind of edify yourself and get inspired and to get encouraged. And depending on like what you do, whether that's like particular movies that encourage and inspire you, as like games that are really beautiful or interesting or make you think. When I close my eyes, all I see is Mario Kart. I've been thinking so much about the new Mario Kart. Last week, 3 days in a row, playing like every night, just going over and playing more Mario Kart.
That's awesome.
I don't think you need to be productive with your rest, but I think you should be intentional. Like whether it's bird watching, like hiking, reading a book, and not wasting that time. Because I think there's a difference between resting and wasting time too. I kind of go in phases where either I tend to do a lot of rest, no work, and that makes me feel kind of lethargic, and like it's just really hard to get back in the working spirit. But there's also times where I feel behind or like I'm really in the groove, and it's easy to do too much. When you start feeling unnecessarily frustrated with your work, or then that's a great time to stop and take a rest. I think also like knowing the amount of rest that you need to. Like I feel like for me, I almost like having like one day of like really dedicated rest. I kind of like to use Saturday to do not work things, but still like productive. Like that's when I'll do like chores. They aren't like the most like fun things to do. It's not just like really relaxing, but it's like that's when I'll get some errands done or I'll go shopping or that kind of thing. Then Sunday is like, okay, entirely rest. Like I can watch movies. I can do whatever I want. It doesn't feel like I overindulge. Because I feel like it always feels worse to like overindulge sometimes when you're really burned out too. And I think that's a great sign. Like if you're using your rest time well, it's like if you're like, okay, I feel ready to get back into work and stuff.
One thing before you go is, have you had a recent dream that you want interpreted? I
mean, I can remember like dreams I had as a kid, but I feel like I know what those mean.
All right. Yeah, you do.
Yeah. Like when I dreamed that I was a Pokemon, I was like, I probably just wanted to be a Pokemon when I was in middle school.
That's everyone's dream.
Yeah.
Well, is it? Because you don't really want to be a Pokeball.
Well, I wasn't a captured Pokemon. I was wild. I could do whatever I wanted.
Is the inside of Pokeball like big on the inside?
I will say the inside of Pokeball is assuredly larger than like the little sphere. So to fit a whole dragon in there. I don't know if they would contain a whole habitat. It would kind of be cool if there wasn't a habitat in there. If it was like a large sphere, because I spent a lot of time in there.
Could you catch a person in a Pokeball?
I know it would be unethical. But I think it will come down to whether Pokemon physiology is different than normal biology. And if there's some kind of biological lock. Because they're not Digimon. And so it's not like they're like a cyber thing that could be made into electricity. Or if like they're in stasis. I also don't know that too. Because when you put your Pokemon into the computer, like the PC box in the games, it doesn't like change or like level up or anything. So I just always assumed it was like, it's kind of frozen.
That's the last question.
Well, I hope I helped you guys. Thanks guys for tuning in to Dear Daniel.
Thanks for tuning in to Dear Daniel.
Oh, this is great. Is there an echo in here? No, well, thanks for tuning in. Send your questions in for next week and I'll give thoughtful and well-researched answers. So see you then. Now on to the next segment.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, welcome to this section of the podcast. What is this one called?
Is this John's History Corner?
Jono's History Corner. Or is it Jono's History Closet?
We're in a closet.
What are we going to talk about today, John?
One man who was not in the closet, Tycho Brahe.
It's Taiho? It's not Tycho?
Well, so that's the thing. It looks like it's Tycho. Actually, his full legal name was Tig Utzon Brahe.
Tig?
His name was Tig. But because his middle name started with an O, they call him Tycho as like a nickname.
Oh.
So today we're talking about Danish astronomer Tycho Brahe, the man with no nose, but he did have a pet moose.
They had mooses back then?
He's Danish. They have mooses in Scandinavia.
Oh, are you sure they weren't reindeer?
No, it was a moose. Trust me, we'll get to the moose.
Okay.
Tycho Brahe was born to several very important Danish families in 1546.
How many different ones?
7.
Wait, how can you be from all 7?
Well, so he was descended from the Brahes, the Billies, the Rudds, the Trolls, the Ulfstads, and the Rosencrantzes.
Okay.
So every single member of his family, going back several generations, were nobility.
So it's like different ones.
Yeah, all 7 different, yes.
Okay.
To create the perfect man.
Okay.
But he was actually raised by his uncle and aunt for reasons no one actually knows. All of his other siblings were raised by their parents. But when he was 2 years old, his uncle and aunt kind of maybe kidnapped him and raised him as their son.
Huh.
And he actually inherited from his uncle before his father died.
Oh. Were all his other siblings jealous of him?
We don't know. He doesn't talk about them.
Oh, okay.
But Brahi was a very energetic young man, and his family wanted him to go into law and be a civil servant and work for the government. All his family were all like senators, basically, like the U.S. government.
Wait, what year is this?
This is now 1572.
Wait, how can we be senators in the U.S. government?
No, the analogy is his family were like senators.
Oh, okay.
They were Danish civil servants.
Okay.
So
what did lawyers do back then?
They were just like judges. They controlled courts.
Yeah, but what did
They
the
worked with
courts do?
They told innocent people they were guilty.
Okay, that makes more sense. Of, like solving crimes?
No, Maddie.
It was just like persecuting poor people.
He's a noble. They don't get their hands dirty.
Okay.
But eventually he ends up basically running off with a couple of cousins and goes to various universities around Germany, where he eventually ends up studying alchemy and herbal medicine at the University of Rostock, which is also where he got into a minor disagreement with his third cousin,
Okay.
Mandra Parzelberg.
I'm interested in that he's hanging out with his cousins.
His third cousin.
Yeah, but he's not hanging out with his siblings because his cousins are like his siblings because he's raised by his aunt and uncle.
No, this is his third cousin. They're over at a professor's house. And supposedly they got into an argument over who was better at math, which ended in them having a duel in a room with no lights on, with swords.
Instead of dueling with math.
He got his nose cut off.
Whoa! That's ratchet. That sounds like such a bad idea.
The theory is that they weren't actually dueling about who was better at math.
They were dueling over a lover?
Yes! The accusation is that Taiho Braki was sleeping with his cousin's favorite sex worker.
Oh my god! You know who else fights over lovers? Mooses.
No.
That's why he wanted a moose. Because they're like, when they want the lover.
Oh, yes!
Yeah?
Yes! Bambi! Yes!
I've seen Bambi too. I know about puberty.
But he does eventually graduate from the University of Rostock. Technically, he doesn't really have a degree. He's just rich. So he gets to say he's educated now.
Wow.
But going back to his family, because he has so many connections and he's so wealthy, he ends up getting special patronage from King Frederick II and a bunch of other wealthy people in like the noble court that they give him his own island called Fenn, where he builds the world's second largest observatory, Jernborg.
They just give him an island?
Yeah, he got an island.
Where does he live?
He lives in Denmark.
Does Denmark have islands?
Yes.
So is this when they discovered that celestial bodies weren't perfect circles?
No.
Oh, they still thought that?
Yeah, no.
I'll mess up your calculations.
Well, no. So the big thing, and the reason why Taiho Braki is a very important astronomer, is that 1572 comes around. He's staring up at the sky one night, and he's like, hey, hold on a second. There's a light up there from a star that shouldn't be there. There's a new light in the sky.
What? A new star?
Supernova, it turned out.
Oh, wow.
He discovered SN 1572b Cassini, also known as BCAS.
Wow.
Which is a supernova like 9 million miles away.
So now we know that happened because we see debris from it?
Well, yeah, now we have telescopes. He is the last great pre-telescopic astronomer where it's just him staring up at the sky.
Oh, really?
Pieces of paper doing math.
Well, he didn't know it's a supernova.
No, he just saw a new light in the sky. He didn't know. Now we know it's a supernova.
But how do we know it's a supernova?
Because now we have telescopes.
But is it still happening?
Yeah.
Supernovas aren't over really
This is not about supernovas, man. This is about Tycho Brahe.
Okay. We'll look it up later. He doesn't have a telescope. Why does he need an observatory?
The island is in a really important spot in Denmark where you get very clear nights and it gives you a great angle based off to see up into the sky.
Did they have light pollution back then?
No. That's why he chose an island that no one lived around.
Wait, wouldn't that mean that, yes, they did have light pollution?
Yes.
Maybe he didn't want people shining their torches in his eyes.
Yeah, not any of that.
People do on camping trips.
Yeah, none of that who goes there kind of nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
He publishes a small book, the Nova Stella, in 1573, where he puts out saying, hey, Aristotle was wrong. The universe is not already like set in stone. There are new stars. The things are moving.
Whoa, hot take, Tycho. You don't want to mess with Aristotle.
He's been dead for thousands of years.
The white people love Aristotle.
This is the part in like the 1580s is where he starts to get a little bit eccentric. Probably because, again, he studied alchemy in college, which was a course you could take back then. So he was beginning to ingest a lot of heavy metals, which may or may not have been causing psychosis.
Like lead? Let me just make sure it smells good.
He got really into astrology.
Okay.
And combined that with his astronomy to try and predict the future, which is why he also invited various people who may have not been good at math from around, Europe to come and stay with him and to try and predict the future, including one jester named Jip, who was a dwarf.
Oh, I read a book about that, actually.
Who he claimed was psychic.
I didn't finish the book.
He kidnapped
They didn't treat them very well. So when he was predicting the future, what did he predict? Was it like, oh, we're going to go to war? Or like, I'm going to wake up and have orange juice tomorrow?
So I think the thing with like the alchemists and like the psychics and stuff like that is that they didn't really ever make bold claims because they knew they actually couldn't prove anything like that. So typically it was like, I'm going to be lucky. What is that luck going to look like? I have no idea, man. You're just going to be lucky.
Yeah.
And also, like, if the alchemy didn't work, it's, well, you did it wrong. You didn't use enough nickel in your zinc cocktail.
You didn't do math right. Now we have to duel in the dark. So
may have also been sleeping with my favorite sex worker. He did get kicked out of the observatory because Denmark went to war.
Oh.
And they wanted him to take up a noble title and like lead soldiers in battle. And he was like, I don't want to do that, man. I just want to stare at the sky and do my math and get high on Mercury. This is also where he gets his pet moose, which he fed beer.
This moose sounds like a bro. What's the moose's name?
We don't actually know what the name of the moose was because it died. Because it got drunk and fell down the stairs.
No!
He was having a massive party. And like one of his party tricks was they bring out barrels of beer for the moose to drink, and then they get like drunk and like run around the room. And one night he's having a big party, he gets drunk, and it just like runs like head first down a flight of stairs and breaks his neck.
Do you know if Tycho like held him and was like, no, moose friend?
And like took off like his fake nose and like held him close to his face?
Yeah.
No, we don't know that.
Oh.
But what we do know is he was a man of the people. Because Tycho Brahe, Danish noble, married a commoner.
What?
He fell
married?
He got technically. Now, interesting.
Was it the sex worker from earlier?
No, she was the daughter of a Lutheran minister named Kirsten.
Just like the American Girl doll.
But they were actually not allowed to get married directly.
Oh, wow. They're like different species.
Legally speaking, yes.
Yeah.
But there were laws basically that allowed, like, so nobles have mistresses. A lot of times they're commoners because they had no other option. But basically, if you live together as husband and wife for 3 years, you can then be viewed as being legally married, although their children were not allowed to claim basically like titles of nobility or like inheritance of affairs.
That's
so like they had 8 kids, 6 lived to adulthood, but they weren't allowed to have titles or like whole property stuff like that.
I think they were resentful.
They're not important.
Because they're not lords. Why would we care? They're just commoners.
Speaking of other important commoners, Johannes Kepler was his most famous student.
I don't know who he is.
Johannes Kepler did the 3 planetary laws of motion based off of the math he got from Tyche and then the fact that telescopes were a thing 15 years later.
Man, did he die before telescopes?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Bummer.
He never really got to prove any of his theories.
He was like obsessed with this guy
yes.
and he died, and then 15 years later he could have looked up close to it.
But we're getting to part of the juicy parts.
Okay.
How he died. He may have been murdered by Johannes Kepler.
What?
That's one of several theories on how he died.
Mm-hmm.
So either he drank too much at the party and didn't go to the bathroom and he got like a burst gut or like burst like bladder.
Should have learned from the moose and stopped drinking.
Or he died of kidney failure because, as I mentioned, he was very much into alchemy.
Mm-hmm.
So probably from all of the lead he's been drinking and breathing in all these years now, or mercury, or nickel, or zinc, or who knows what else.
Zinc is too much zinc.
Who knows what else this man was putting into his body? Or Johannes Kepler poisoned him with mercury.
It'd be pretty easy to poison this guy, I feel like.
So about 20 years ago, they dug up his body to do tests on his bones.
We saw his body?
Oh yeah, we still got his body.
Did he die in the observatory?
I have no idea.
Okay. So what happened to his observatory? Is it still there?
It was demolished after the scientific revolution because it was seen as, a symbol of the ancient past of the nobility, where they got to go off into the woods and do whatever he was getting up to out in the woods without actually giving back to the community, really, because he was hoarding knowledge.
Yeah. So what did he actually do? Was it his main contribution was to be what if Aristotle's not right?
His main contribution basically was that he did the best mathematical workups of the movement of stars and planets you can do pre-telescope. And using that data and then telescopes, Johannes Kepler figured out the planetary laws of motion. And again, they were basically able to prove that the sun is the center of the universe, which Copernicus suggested years earlier, but was shut down by the church for, and was arrested and put in the tower.
Put him in the tower.
We can't possibly be resolving around the sun. Look, it's moving around us. You're insane. And he's like, but look at my math. And they were like, we don't believe in math, nerd. We're the Catholic Church.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like Tycho maybe should have gone to jail for murdering that moose.
He didn't murder the moose, the stairs did.
But he fed the moose alcohol.
He probably did loads of worse things we don't know about.
Did he live at the same time as Shakespeare?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
He was the 1500s, right?
He's late 1500s.
Is Shakespeare early 1500s?
That's what I thought.
Joel says no.
Shakespeare, 1564. Yep, same time period, actually, yeah. Shakespeare was younger.
That was a really good segment, Jonathan. Thank you for teaching us some history.
Astronomy is important.
Bye, folks. On to our next segment. All right, Chat Joel PT.
Hello, world. I'm Chat Joel PT, and I have the answers to all of your questions.
Is it true? Can you answer anything?
Yes, anything I will answer.
Question number 1.
Okay.
How far away from Earth is the moon? Give your answer measured in bananas.
In bananas. So a banana is about this big. And the moon is very, very, very far away from the Earth. So far away that they look just like tiny specks in proportion to each other. So all the models of the moon orbiting around the Earth are wrong because they had to scale it up so you can tell. They make it look like they're this close, but they're really super far away. So if I had to put a rough estimate on it, I would say something like 5 trillion bananas.
Okay. What was a cowboy's most common meal?
Cowboy's most common meal, if the Westerns are to be believed, were Franks and beans, right? They would have them in the tin cans and cook them over the little campfires while they play harmonica, juice harp, mouth harp. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it also depends on what year the cowboy is. Because there's cowboys today. And I bet their most common meal isn't beans and Franks.
It's probably ramen.
I bet it's
maybe soup.
Tacos.
Yeah, tacos. Probably McDonald's.
Can you write my cover letter for an illustration agency, please? Make it professional. Make it really nice.
All right. To whom it may concern, hi. This is your name. I'm interested in this position that you're offering, and I'm very excited to contribute to your team and something about how you really believe in their values and you're excited to be a part of their mission and their vision, and then go into talk about your passion for illustration and your experience in illustration, how many years you've been doing it, if you've been doing it for a lot of years. If you haven't been doing it for a lot of years, say many years. Don't be specific.
I've been doing rocket science for a long time, so you should let me onto your team, NASA. Thank you.
I really don't know how seriously people take those cover letters. The fact that you are writing a cover letter at all already puts you ahead above the rest. I think that if you're putting in genuine interest in the position, that'll come through.
I don't understand this one, but you might. Why did John Arbuckle bring home Nermal?
So, these are characters from the popular comic strip Garfield. He took Nermal in, I believe, because he needed to be taken care of for a short time. Like, I think his owner went away. But it could have just been an evil scheme of Nermal's to find a way to ruin Garfield's life and potentially even replace him as the house cat. But I don't believe John ever adopted Nermal or owned Nermal, just visits occasionally, like an unwanted relative.
Who's an unwanted relative in your house?
I don't know if I can say on camera.
Keep them guessing. Well, that was all our questions from our listeners.
Oh, that was it?
Yeah. People don't really need chat GPT. Except for me, Maddie.
Oh.
I've got so many questions for you.
Okay.
So, what was the best song that came out in 1959?
As it happens, I grew up with a CD of the top hits from 1959. And the best song on that collection, I really like Stagger Lee. It goes, the night was clear and the moon was yellow, and the leaves came tumbling down. Da-da-da-da. I was standing on the corner when I heard my bulldog bark. Anyway, it's about a guy who, I think Stagger Lee gave a loan to somebody who couldn't pay it back. And he said, please don't kill me. I've got 3 little kids and a fairly sickly wife. And then he kills him. Says, he shot that poor boy so bad that the shot went through Billy and it broke the bartender's glass.
Why did you like that song?
Because it's catchy.
Do you think that creeps people out that you really like that song?
I think that is beyond my control, whether people interpret that as creepy. I think it's perfectly acceptable.
You think it's okay to shoot people?
No, not to shoot. Obviously not. I do not approve of shooting people. I just think it's a cool song. And so did a lot of other people in 1959. Millions.
Were there millions of people in 1959?
Yeah.
How many people were there?
Something like 1 to 2 billion.
Really?
Yeah.
Only 1 to 2 billion? And now we have 8 billion?
Yeah, it's grown exponentially.
Is it going to keep growing exponentially?
In about 100 years, it'll cap out at about 23 billion and then start going back down.
Why will it cap out?
Because I believe that the number of children we would have to have for the population to remain stable is 2.5. And because we can't really have...
compensating for the half that decide not to have children?
I mean, I'm not sure exactly how the statistic is updated now with a lot of people not having children. Based on my sources, it's just because you can't have half a child, that makes it so that it will only go up to a certain point and then go back down.
And that doesn't make any sense. You know how for a long time only royalty could wear purple? Because it was like, oh, you have to crush a bunch of snails to make it so it's super hard to get, and only royalty can wear purple. When did they invent more purple so that other people could wear purple?
So of course it was the Phoenicians who originally made that purple dye from the crushed snails.
Of course.
And that was, in antiquity, it continued to be a very difficult dye to reproduce until probably the 18th or 19th century.
What changed?
I'd say the Industrial Revolution.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you sure it's not discovery of the New World?
It's a good...
So how did they make the purple? Is it chemicals or did they find a new flower?
They just mixed the blue and the red dyes.
You never thought before. It was actually Ben Franklin who invented the color purple.
Yeah. nobody knew that the common man had access to purple until Benjamin Franklin.
What else did the Phoenicians do?
The Phoenicians were known as a seafaring people. They were known for trade, being the best traders. They traded their goods far.
Traders, kill them!
Yeah, that too. Well, the Phoenicians began life on the eastern bank of the Mediterranean, on the north coast of Western Africa, I believe. They established the city that came to be known as Carthage. They had a very advanced military. They had this whole seaport. It was like a big circle. Then the remains of it are still visible today, even though Carthage has been all but leveled by invaders, mostly the Romans.
Hey, classic Romans.
They put up a good fight, though, a really good fight. But eventually, they just kind of spent their resources and their energy.
Okay, that's enough about the Phoenicians.
Okay.
My next question is about Brian Wilson.
The late Brian Wilson, yes.
How come all the Beatles got knighted and he didn't?
Because Brian Wilson isn't British.
And only British people get knighted?
Only British people can be knighted.
Dang, isn't that racist?
That's, at worst, nationalist. And no.
So what was Brian Wilson's relationship like with all his children, and who gets his inheritance?
Well, Brian initially was a very absent father to his first two children, Carney and Wendy. He was just, super hooked on drugs at the time. His wife, Marilyn, remembers him dropping off the kids at the school bus and then asking the bus driver if he had a joint. Wendy and Carney kind of resented him for a while. They went off and did their own thing. They teamed up with some of the kids of the Mamas and the Papas and formed Wilson Phillips. And they were pretty successful in the 80s and 90s.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you have any songs by them that you like?
No.
Is it all mediocre to you?
I haven't listened to any of it.
What?
Yeah.
How have you not listened to it? That sounds awesome. I want to listen to it. So did they ever recover their relationship with their father?
Yes, they did. So in the early 90s, and that's, I believe, about the time he reconciled with Wendy and Carney, they collaborated together musically, and Brian said that he got to know his daughters through working with them as musicians, and he fell in love with them. He was very sweet. He's a sweet guy. And then when he married his second wife, Melinda, they decided to adopt kids.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a lot of kids.
Whoa. How many?
10.
What?
Yeah. They seem really happy. I don't know much about them. I think they try to keep that out of the spotlight for their privacy.
Would you leave me for one of Brian Wilson's adopted kids?
No. It would depend. But probably not.
How do you get your muscles so big?
I got these muscles by going to the gym. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. ChatGPT is strong in the mind and the arms. Just make sure to eat a lot of protein before and after, especially after when your muscles are recovering. A very wise person told that to me. Yeah, that was... No, not you, but someone very wise.
Brian Wilson's adopted daughter. What article of clothing immediately makes someone look stylish to you?
Turtlenecks.
That's a great answer.
Mm-hmm. Or any sort of red and black clothing.
What do you like about lists?
It's like, if only I could decide what movie to watch. Oh, I've got every movie that I could possibly watch that I would like collected in one convenient place. I don't know, to me it's the satisfaction of having a complete, definitive collection. I mean, I'm attracted to collections even if they're things I don't want. So I like having information all in one place and being able to conveniently reference information.
I'm like, it's not like Joel tries to make lists. It's like he can't stop making lists.
That's just what I do. I'll make lists as a form of escape.
It's so weird. The only way I can escape this cruel world through writing it down in order in this Excel sheet. You know how when the Industrial Revolution happened and they went into the Luddite Revolution and to destroy all the machines?
Yeah.
What put a stop to that?
Well, to my knowledge, the Luddites didn't want to destroy the machines so much as not be a part of that system. Did they want to destroy them?
You know, when they went into New York and they went and destroyed all the machines.
No, I don't know that, actually.
I'm the smart one here. That's that part of Tad Joel PT today. Thank you, Joel, for being with us.
Thank you for having me in my own closet.
Bye.
Bye.